Midnight arrived beneath heavy rain and roaring thunder. Daniel stood in front of the abandoned St. Elias Church, trembling slightly as cold wind swept through the empty streets. The church looked ancient. Broken stained glass windows reflected flashes of lightning. Large wooden doors hung crookedly from rusted hinges. Nature itself seemed to be swallowing the building. Daniel tightened his grip around the rusty key. Every instinct warned him to leave, but curiosity pulled him forward. Slowly, he pushed the church doors open. Creak. The sound echoed through the dark building. Dust floated through moonlight shining from shattered windows. Rows of old benches stretched into darkness. At the far end near the altar, a single candle burned softly, and beside it stood a woman wearing a dark hooded coat. "You came," she said calmly. Daniel stepped backward cautiously. "Who are you?" "My name is Miriam." She lowered her hood slowly. She looked young, maybe 25, but exhaustion covered her face. "You knew the old man?" Daniel asked. She nodded sadly. "His name was Elias." Daniel froze. "The church?" "Yes," she replied. "St. Elias Church was named after him years ago before it was abandoned." Daniel's confusion deepened. "What's happening? Why are people chasing me?" Miriam stared at the key in his hand. "Because that key opens something powerful." She guided him toward the altar. Hidden beneath the wooden floorboards was a small metal lock. Daniel inserted the key carefully. Click. The floor trembled slightly. A hidden staircase slowly appeared beneath the altar. Cold air rushed upward. Daniel stared into the darkness below. "You expect me to go down there?" Miriam looked serious. "If you want the truth." Together, they descended carefully. The underground chamber was enormous. Old shelves lined the walls. Stacks of documents filled metal cabinets. Gold bars rested inside broken wooden boxes. Photographs covered tables. Daniel's eyes widened in disbelief. "What is all this?" Miriam picked up an old file. "These are secrets powerful men spent decades hiding." She opened the file. Inside were records of illegal transactions, missing government funds, secret business deals, and photographs linking politicians to organized crime. Daniel's mouth slowly opened. "This could destroy people." "It already has," Miriam replied quietly. She explained everything. Years ago, Elias worked with powerful leaders and businessmen. But after discovering massive corruption stealing billions from ordinary citizens, he secretly gathered evidence against them. When they discovered his betrayal, they hunted him. For years he stayed hidden while protecting the evidence beneath the church. And now, Daniel asked, now they know the key survived. Suddenly, bang! The church doors upstairs exploded open. Heavy footsteps echoed above. "They're here," Miriam whispered. Fear flooded Daniel instantly. One of the men shouted from upstairs, "Search everything." Miriam grabbed a small flash drive from the table and handed it to Daniel. "This contains digital copies of everything." Daniel stared at it nervously. "What do we do?" "You expose them." Footsteps rushed toward the staircase. Daniel's breathing became heavy. He was just a poor delivery boy, not a hero, not a fighter. But then he remembered his mother, the suffering around him, the years ordinary people struggled while powerful men became richer. Something changed inside him. For once in his life, he refused to run from fear. The suited men stormed into the chamber. Their leader smiled coldly. "You've caused us enough trouble." Daniel tightened his grip around the flash drive. The leader extended his hand. "Give it to me." Silence filled the chamber. Then suddenly, Daniel threw a lantern toward the shelves. Glass shattered. Flames exploded across the room. Chaos erupted instantly. Miriam grabbed Daniel's arm. "Move." Together they escaped through a hidden tunnel beneath the chamber while smoke filled the underground room. Gunshots echoed behind them. The tunnel led toward the riverfront outside the city. Rain poured heavily as they ran across empty streets. Finally, they reached a tiny radio station owned by Miriam's friend, an independent journalist named Kareem. Kareem immediately connected the flash drive to his systems. Within minutes, thousands of files began uploading online. Videos, bank records, secret recordings, evidence against politicians, businessmen, and criminal networks. By sunrise, the entire country exploded with outrage. News stations reported nonstop. Government offices were raided. Several powerful officials attempted escaping the country but were arrested. The scandal became one of the biggest corruption exposures in national history. And Daniel, the boy nobody noticed, became a national symbol overnight. Weeks later, life slowly changed. His mother received proper medical care. People respected him. Young people across the country shared his story online. But Daniel never forgot the old man on the roadside bench. One evening, he returned there alone. Rain clouds gathered softly overhead. He sat quietly staring at the city lights. Then he smiled, because he finally understood something important. A single act of kindness can open doors destiny has been waiting to reveal. And sometimes, the people who feel the smallest are chosen to change everything.